Okay, I think we may be done. We may be live at last. Good. So if you're watching this later, you're going to have to fast forward a little bit. Maybe not. Let's see what happens. I will have to edit this video, I think. If you're watching this later, you're going to have to fast forward a little bit. Maybe not. Let's see what happens. I will have to edit this video, I think. So, welcome to day two. There's a bit of technical snafu there. I think I might start doing these earlier in the day rather than doing this live, because I think I might be pushing the boundaries of technology here. But hey, it's fun. We work on it. We work with it. So a little bit of housekeeping. Thank you for everybody that has joined us over the last couple of days. It's been fantastic to see all these new faces turning up. Please go into the Facebook group. You will have details of that. If not, no, you'll have details of that. We would send it out to you. So please go to the Facebook group and say hello. There will be a welcome post up. We probably didn't put it up yesterday. We probably should have done. That there will be one up by the end of this broadcast, no doubt. So you can go and just say hello, who you are, and where you're from, and what you want. Might be interesting to hear. So yeah, do that. Use it. Use the group for just connecting with us, because obviously this is not a live event. Obviously it's a virtual event. It's not somewhere where you're turning up to see people. So it's nice to try and connect with people in it, to try and get that kind of sense, that urgency of it. And it gives you somewhere to be accountable. You know, if you're going to say, I want to do something, you can put it in the group and say, look, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to do this. Excuse me, I don't need to drink now. All that stress of it not connecting has maybe kind of go, blur. If you were in the Facebook group earlier, or you saw earlier, there is a live with myself and Simon Jordan. Yeah, we had a great chat this afternoon, a little chat this afternoon, because a few people were quite inspired by his talk last night, and I just wanted to catch up with him and just tell him that, and just touch in really, and touch him with his sense of, you know, how he makes his life work, how he does stuff. But he's like, you know, as I was saying, well, go and watch the live. Let's not repeat it. What is underneath the live is his podcast with conversation with me. And that is fascinating. I listened to it back today because that was the first podcast that I put out live. It was the first one in January 2018. So the format with podcasts is when you launch a new show, you put 3 podcasts together, so there are at least 3 on the platform, and then you release with one of them, with the other 2 pre-uploaded. And Simon was my release podcast. And it was a great show, very well worth listening. And you will hear more about his story of surrender. And it's interesting, having seen him and go and listen to that show, you can see the journey. It's really fascinating to hear it, really. So it's quite good listen. Oh dear, I know I've got a bit of wind going on here. Okay, so thanks a lot for everybody that's joined us, as I said. Right, announcement. What have we got for you? If you missed yesterday, if you're new to us and you're just coming into this, and you missed Simon's and Emma's and Connie's and I've forgotten everyone who was it. There's so many people I've forgotten who there was yesterday. I'm sure that I will work it out. But if you missed yesterday's shows, Liz, that's it, Liz. If you missed yesterday's, you can catch up with them. Right now, they're available until 8 o'clock this evening, so that obviously is a bit tight. But what we have done for you is created a one-day pass. So you can buy a one-day pass. Let me just show you the one-day pass. There it is. That's a one-day pass. A one-day catch-up pass for £10. If you want to, it gives you 7-day access to those things. And I mean, the real value in a pass, probably, to be honest, is to buy the full 30-day access for the whole lot, or to go the whole thing and actually buy into the VIP package. But up to you how you want to do it. And if you want to catch up with yesterday, you have the option, the 10-day pass. The one-day pass is now live, so you can go and find that on the tab. By my ticket tab, I forgot what it's called, but I'm sure it's on the tab. You'll find it where you can get it from. Let's close that. Let's get that bit later, and you can see me now. So that's that. Simon's podcast, I haven't mentioned everything else. There's not a lot of housekeeping today, actually. We did most of it yesterday. How are you getting on with your note taking? Did you get yourself a journal? Are you writing? Are you finding some space to put down some stuff? What have you discovered? It would be really interesting to hear what you have discovered, actually, and that's what the Facebook group is really useful for. The other place you can put things, now let's see if I can do this jiggery pokery while I'm doing this, while I'm talking to you. Possibly not. Possibly could. Event, let's go into the event and go into speaker page. And then go on speaker page, is that what I go to? There's lots of facilities on each speech, on each talk. There's a box on the side there where you can up and up ticket whether you like it. You can vote for a speech, and there's also a place for comments. I can't show it to you. I don't think. I think it's too difficult to try and show. There's a place where you can put comments, and I would love to hear your comments. Put them there if you want to, and if you've got questions, put them there, and we'll either copy them into the Facebook group if you're not using Facebook, or get answers for you. So I'm looking to get some of the speakers on with me live on this program, but I may not be doing them live now. I've got, because of the collywobbles I'm having with this, I may choose not to, because I can't see the messages anyway. The whole idea of doing live is so I could see people's comments, but the systems don't show me the comments, which is a bit of a pain, really. So tomorrow Liz is probably going to be popping in with me. We're going to have a chat with Liz tomorrow. That would be quite nice. So is that the final thing? Is that all I need to talk about tonight? Probably is. Yes, well, there'll be some more tomorrow. So what is today's topic? What are we talking about today? So today we're talking about the head stuff. Well, to be real honest, it's all in the head. Everything's in the head. But today really is the head stuff. Confidence. Where does it go? How come sometimes we're really confident? How come sometimes we're not? It's that thing that sometimes some kids are just absolutely really brave and some kids are not. Teenagers, they have massive levels of confidence and sometimes they haven't. Or, there's this thing about where does our confidence go and how do we build it up? How do we get strong in that respect? Mindset. Mindset and confidence, very linked together, very linked together. It's like, what is mindset? We hear a lot about having the right mindset for stuff. And our speakers today all are exploring these subjects. Well, we'll get into them in a minute. And then the final one is motivation. What is it? How do we keep going? What pushes us forward? How do we find a way of pulling ourselves forward? Are we pushing or pulling? What is the process around this? I'm very thirsty today. Really thirsty today. So that's what the main topic tonight, and there are 4 speakers for us this evening. So we've got Emma Kilby, and she is talking about confidence and congruence. And this is this sense of that everything has got to be in alignment for confidence to be real. Now, it's a great conversation. Now, Emma is a singer. She's an actor. She came from the performance profession. So she's one that really understands the whole idea of confidence, because getting up on a stage in front of people and performing or going to dark places as an actor, you need confidence in what you're doing. And that's Emma's role. She's also a management trainer. She's done lots of things. She calls herself a polymath, which is quite fascinating. I mean, she does loads of things. In fact, when I connected with her, she said, I can't talk at the moment. I'm in a room of sergeant majors. And she was doing diversity training with the army, with a load of sergeant majors. And it's like, wow, you got to have some confidence to go in a room and kind of like, and this is, I mean, she's got everything going against her. This is a very male-dominated environment, a very rules-dominated environment, and there she is taking charge of these men and teaching them diversity. You'll hear that story. It's on the talk. It's a great talk. So that's great. Karen Dark. I met Karen 10 years ago, maybe more than 10 years ago. And it was more than 10 years ago. I was an advisor in this area, working on marketing issues with the local enterprise company. And Karen was launching a book. And I went to see her about helping her with marketing that book. And I turned up at her house and there was no one there. And it was in the back end of beyond of country near where I live here. And so I wandered around, waiting for her. And I thought to myself, well, I'll just wait. I'll give her a few minutes. She must be out somewhere. And then she came roaring into the car park on a hand bike, covered in mud and everything else. And that was my first meeting of Karen. Oh, hello, you must be Paul, and he was like, great, yeah. And she just kind of drove the bike up to a wheelchair, thumped out the bike, thumped into the wheelchair, and then sped off into the house, And it's like, wow, And that was how I first met Karen. As you'll hear, she was paralysed from the chest down when she was 21, and she has had an amazing journey. It didn't start. It was a difficult beginning for her. She had to come to terms with the loss of the lower half of her body, but she didn't let that limit her. And so she has cycled pretty much every continent, over mountains, across Australia. She's even skied across locations. You will hear so much of what Karen does, and you'll see. The video is fantastic. There's so much in that, so well worth a watch. And my next speaker after that is not on my list. Why is it not on my list? Let's go and have a look over here. For some reason, my schedule's wrong. My paper schedule's wrong. Ah, yes. Building Motivation and Mindset with Tracy Rampling Brown. You'll hear the story of Tracy. You'll hear that when you listen to that speech. Tracy lives in Italy, and she moved from Australia, and it was that thing about relocating her family and the decisions and how the process works. We'll hear about that one, and how she developed motivation. And this whole conversation is about motivation. And the biggest thing about in her life at the moment is in Italy, after you've been there for a year, you have to take a driving test in Italian. And you're going to hear that journey, which is ongoing. And it's about the motivation for that. And it's a great conversation with Tracy, and it's very well worth it. So all of these conversations are well worth it. But, I'm just pointing out to you why it's fascinating to listen to. We've talked about motivation, and, Tracy is someone who is really, really showing us the way on this one. And the final conversation of the evening is with Graham Hendry. Graham W. Hendry, I'll have you know. And he is a podcast host. He's a local guy up here, not far from me up here, and lives out in Lossiemouth. And his story about mindset. I suspect Graham will be Marmite for some people. You will either love him or hate him, because there is so much energy in this conversation. I was a bit shocked because I didn't know Graham had this. I didn't know he was going to be like this at all. And I was completely bowled away by the conversation we had. And I can't put any more on this. So Graham is a coach, a language coach. And he does mindset coaching with people. And he's written 4 books on leadership. So he sort of knows what he's talking about. But it isn't from where you would expect. He does it from a very different place, and you will hear that different place. And he's very much about, if you want to change your mindset, shake it up a bit, which is very much in terms of what Simon was talking about, in terms of do stuff different, do something else, take a risk. And I would definitely say that Graham is in that category of do something different, take a risk. And he did. He literally upped sticks and changed country and kept doing it. And I think he lived in like 20 places in less than 2 years or something. So it's very well worth listening to Graham. So that's all of our speakers this evening gone through. It is all about mindset. It's all about confidence. It's all about motivation. It's all about the stuff that goes on in here. It's all about getting what we want, but getting this in alignment with that, really. So I hope you are getting something out of this. Use it. Make time for yourself so you can absorb it, and tell us what you think in the Facebook group or on the page. I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts. So that's me for this evening. I will be back in the Facebook group at some stage, possibly tonight. I'm not sure I'll do a live, but I will be around it. And I will be in there tomorrow. And there will almost certainly be a live with myself and Liz tomorrow. And that's it for tonight. So thank you so much for being here. If you are enjoying it, you can share it with your friends. People can still join in. There's no limits to how long those tickets are still available. People can still join in. So please do share it and tell people about it, because that's how we grow it all. Thank you so much. All the best. I will see you tomorrow.